Hi everyone, how you all been? Ooh, bear with me a second. My webcam is a little bit higher today. I think I'll keep it that way actually. It doesn't block my screen either this way, so you get a little bit more empty space on the top unless I go like this. So, have you guys all been? Joshman says, Eric, I do have a question. When you did your trailer reaction from Moana 2, what did you mean that what did Disney do to the script of that is something I explained in my Patreon video, so that's where you're going to have to go get the answer. I'm not going to say it to you just yet because I want to provide value for people that actually do pay on my Patreon for this kind of stuff, so, I'm sorry, I know what that feels like, but you're going to have to wait if you want me to give you that info. I just wanted to make it feel worth it for the people that, pay to go to Patreon to support me and want to know this stuff. So, yeah. Yep, Selena, I've heard. We're gonna get the Venom 3 trailer tomorrow. We're also gonna get another trailer, which has escaped me, but it's another trailer for a movie that's coming out that we're gonna be getting another trailer to. Can you guys remember what it is? There is another trailer coming out around the same time as Venom. Do you guys know what it was? It does seem to be another high-profile movie getting a trailer. Jess says it's hot in his place. It's hot here. This is the attic. Why do you think I'm doing these streams later than I usually would? It's because it cools down a little bit by then. And yes, just for those of you wondering, I will be covering it on my Patreon, and also I'll be covering it on YouTube memberships. If you look down below, you'll actually see there's a join button, and if you click that join button, it will give you a bunch of perks, including trailer reactions on this channel, and additional perks that are exclusive for YouTube memberships. And if anyone subscribes to the YouTube memberships as we do this live stream, it should pop up in the chat that you've subscribed to YouTube memberships. And I'll give you a dedicated thanks if you join YouTube memberships during these live streams. So, let's see here. I'll let a few more of you come into the stream, and then we'll talk about the stories that we've got going. Selena says, hey Eric, the summer vacation has started for me, and I know what you mean by what Disney did to Moana. Yep. Eric, how much progress has been made on the Insomniac video? Very little, because I'm getting these videos done. Because I'm getting these other videos done, but that is still on my mind. I still want to get it done. Once I've cleared up my schedule for the next few Versus videos, I can get back to that, because that's a big one. It requires time in order for it to be done. What is the next video? Well, I'm working on a Godzilla vs. Kong vs. Godzilla X Kong video, so I'm doing that. I'm also working on Puss in Boots 1 vs. Puss in Boots 2. I actually worked on both of those scripts last night. So, yeah, I'm still working on that. Like I said, Godzilla x Kong is going to be a smaller Versus video. I haven't checked how long the script is going to be for me to read it. I'm still have to go, do some rewrites on it. But I'm working on that, and it's supposed to be about, I'm thinking about in the realm of 15 minutes tops, but who knows? Knowing me, I'll end up making it longer. Jess says, where do I find YouTube membership? Do you know the join button that's next to the subscribe button and next to the thumbs up buttons and all that? There should be a join button there next to my channel name. Click on that and it'll show you all the membership perks that you can get. And if anyone signs up for memberships, like I said, during the live stream, because it's connected to YouTube, it should pop up in the chat and say this person has subscribed to YouTube memberships. So, and we have got some cool content coming up with regards to YouTube memberships as well. So, and like I said, you'll also get trailer reactions there too. So some good, really good stuff for those of you that become YouTube members, and you get to also see me cover movies and shows that you've wanted me to cover, but I've not had time to make like dedicated videos on. So we'll be able to go through those together. Oh, Big Bash says I re-downloaded Uncharted 4. I'm on chapter 20 now. That's cool. I was playing it on my PS4 a while ago when I had some time off, and it was fun, but once you get to that place with the boat ride, for some reason, that's where the game feels slower to me. But yeah, I'm on that stage. But then you can't play too long on a monitor or PS4 anymore. I just want to go to my Steam Deck these days. So yeah. Let's see. The G Gamer says, "Hey Eric, sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything?" Nope, you didn't miss anything. The stream has just started. I'm just waiting for more people like yourself to join the stream before we get into any of the stories. Because if I didn't wait, then we would have already been into the stories and you would have started missing things. You know what? I'm just going to pop this camera down so I don't have to lean up as much for you to see me. There you go. You can see me more now. Less of the ceiling. No one says, "Have you played Arkham Origins, Eric?" I'm playing it for the first time right now on PS5. How are you playing it on PS5? Arkham Origins. Yes, I played Arkham Origins when it was brand new, when it came out all those years ago. And I've got it on my Steam Deck as well. I got it on that Steam Deck when I got that one, where just where my thumb is pointing at. Then when I got the Steam Deck OLED, I played it on this as well. Right now I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order because I got it on the PS4, but I never finished it all the way. It's a maze in that game at times, and the last thing you want to do is just backtrack through a maze for a long time and all that stuff on a monitor on a PS4. It's much more relaxing to pick up and play and do it on the Steam Deck, so I much prefer playing that game on the Steam Deck, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh, Trevor Bistro says, "I got an autograph from Vanessa Marshall, who voiced General Hera Syndulla in Star Wars Rebels." Cool. Oh, hi, Fireboy. I'm doing great. Trevor Bistro, it's great to see all of you. King of the Monsters 2021, great to see you as well. Saeed, I agree. It really is. Shows what a disgusting world we have. Velka says, "I think I know your #1 villain, Eric. Mr. Poe from a series of unfortunate events." Yeah, looking back, that is kind of fun, looking back at Mr. Poe now. I remember how irritating he was to me. But it is fun to look back at. Sometimes I can be amused myself when I look back and see how annoyed I used to get. It's fun. Oh, Big Bash says, "I have economics homework." Oh, well, good luck to you on that. Movie Fan 2002 has started us off with a super chat. Let's see, he's given a $5 super chat. And says, "Eric, what is the rating? What is your rating for the X-Men movies?" Okay, I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm gonna have to kind of like eyeball it, or just go off of what I can remember. So the first X-Men, I give that an 8 out of 10. I really like that. Second one, I give that a high 7 out of 10. The pacing was the only thing that really threw me off in that movie, but everything else I loved about it. X-Men 3, I actually think that's underrated. I really do enjoy it. Compared to the worst comic book movies that Marvel release now, like some people actually try to make excuses for movies what was it? Some people were making excuses for Thor: Love and Thunder and stuff. I'm like, if you're willing to make excuses for that, how come you're like, yeah, but The Last Stand, that was terrible? So The Last Stand, to me, I thought it was actually pretty good. Could have been better, but for what it was, I remember enjoying it a lot. And it's very easy to sit down and watch as well. And it was a nice drama, and it felt like that was a time when they were trying to do trilogies, and it was very ballsy. I'd give that... Okay, let me change my ratings. The first one I give a high 8. The second one I give a normal 8. X-Men The Last Stand, I give a 7. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I liked it when I was younger, but the older I get, the less it makes sense, and it doesn't connect at all well to that first movie. And the second movie, the dreams that Wolverine would get that were downright horrific, doesn't compare to that at all. That gets probably a 4 or a 5 or something like that. Very watchable, but does nothing to tell you that origin. Then after that we got X-Men First Class. I really enjoy that. That gets a very high 8, maybe even a low 9. I think that was excellent. Days of Future Past gets a 9. I love Days of Future Past. The Wolverine gets... I think I reviewed it a long time ago when I was younger, and I did a versus video on it as well, I think. Yeah, with Logan. I think I gave that a 6. And then Logan, that gets a high 9. Who knows, it probably might get a 10 the more I think about it. It was amazing. I love that movie. And am I missing something? Dark Phoenix. Yeah, Dark Phoenix. I think I gave that, was it a low 6? A low 6 or a high 5, something like that. So there, I think I covered all of those. Samuel Galloway says, "When A Quiet Place 3 comes out, are you doing a 3-way versus video with the first 2? No, because that Quiet Place movie is a spin-off. It's not A Quiet Place 3. So I'm not going to do a versus video with that. I might do a quick movie review or something. But no, I won't do a versus video. I am planning on doing a versus video of Inside Out 1 versus Inside Out 2, which is coming out. Inside Out 2 is coming out this month. So hopefully if I get my scripts done before that, I can start editing the scripts for the other versus videos I'm doing, and then write the new script for Inside Out 1 versus Inside Out 2. Hi, Elite, I'm doing good. How about yourself? And thanks, Movie Fan, for that super chat. I always tell you guys, never underestimate how the super chats really help on this channel. I'd say it went up. Movie Fan, I think the Batman went up to a 10, but I think it did go up to a 10 at a point, but I think I'd still keep it at 9. Okay, let's see. Adam Grunther, I said I think it was a high 9 or possibly a 10. I would need to see it again, I think. But I remember when I watched it the first time, it was a 9. The second time I saw it, then I think it was a 10 then, or a high 9. But yeah, no, Logan is one of those where I wouldn't be surprised if my rating did go up to a 10. I love that movie so much. Big Bash says, I watched your Killing Joke video. That Batgirl part was disgusting. It was. I will also say that that villain that I actually praised at the time probably was better in my younger mind when I was younger, but when you're older, I feel like you get a different perspective, and I don't think that villain is as effective as I thought he was. Oh, yeah, I did forget to mention X-Men Apocalypse. That I'd give a high 6. Jess, Eric, would it be great if the Monsterverse and Pacific Rim had a crossover? Not really. It would be interesting for sure, but I think Godzilla has so many great monsters that I think it would be more interesting if they just crossed them over with multiple of those iconic monsters rather than throwing in the Pacific Rim. I think that would be too many universes at once. Adam Grunther has given a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Says, who are your top 5 X-Men villains? That is a good question. And for me, I think the villains really come from my exposure to them, which was in the movies. So, first one is Magneto. Ian McKellen's version. The second one will be Michael Fassbender. I'm gonna put him in because I think they both brought something very different to their Magneto roles, I thought. So I would say both of them. Then I would say Stryker, because he's a human, but the motivation they gave him and Brian Cox's performance was really, really good. Another villain that I would say was good, I would say Kevin Bacon's character. Kevin Bacon's character in X-Men First Class, he was really good. And the final one is one I just... Oh yeah, the final one is X-24 that Wolverine goes up against. I'd say that's probably how I would rank. Let me think, am I missing out on anyone? No, I think I got it. Yeah, off the top of my head, I will say, Adam, because normally this would require more thought, I would say. Let's see, Adam says, well then, I think I've decided what my request will be. Definitely going to request Dark Knight vs. Logan, especially with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. Cool, that'll be one heck of a video that I'll have to write a script for. Like I said, I'm going to have to get the Puss in Boots one done first, because that one was paid for first. Once I do that, I'll then move on to yours. And I'll be also, while I'm doing the Puss in Boots one, I'll do the other ones that I'm working on too, so yeah. Yeah, New Mutants I wasn't really counting. I was counting all the main universe ones, you know, the ones with the actual characters. And yeah, New Mutants, I think that was probably a high 5 or something. Okay, guys, let's see. Okay, plenty of you are here. Okay, I just got another super chat right when I was about to say that. Marty Cyan Adams, who has given a £2 super chat, says, would you do ST3 versus 4 video since your ops contrast? I don't know what that means, Marty. I think you need to clarify that. Does anyone else know what he's trying to say? What is ST3? Let me know what he's saying. And okay, good. Okay, goodbye, Selena. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Let me know what you're saying, and then I'll start the stories that we're talking about. Yeah, Adam Grunther, I do agree. Liev Schreiber was fantastic. But the problem is it did not line up with the continuity. That was the only problem. So it's like, what, does he get dumber as the years go by? It was just so weird. But yeah, he was a very good villain as well. Be interesting if he shows up in Deadpool and Wolverine, actually. Because we saw those Sabretooth set photos. I wonder if they bring the Origins one in. Because that is where Deadpool sadly debuted, so it would be interesting if he brings in Origins characters. Okay. Oh, Stranger Things, that's what he means. Would you do Stranger Things 3 versus 4 videos since your ops contrast? What do you mean since your ops contrast? Do you mean since I do, since I let people do requests and on my Patreon? If that's what you're talking about. I've actually got strict rules about what videos can be done, so if that's what you mean, will I let that be commissioned? I actually wouldn't. Because that would take way too long. I mean, you guys saw how long it took me to get my Avatar versus video done. Not only because I had a cold and, you know, family member passed away and all that stuff, but it was 2 shows I was doing a versus video on. It wasn't until the end of the video when I realized, hang on, I'm doing a versus video of 2 TV shows. That's not easy. That's like an insane amount of work and like just so much thoughts you have to get down in 30 minutes. I could have got more down, but it would have been too long a video, so I didn't. Smoothie King says, hey Eric, how you doing? Have a couple questions. Have you heard about Bill Skarsgård returning as Pennywise? Yes, I have. And also, I recommend you watching One Piece. It's amazing, good world building. That's great. I've heard a lot of people recommend that. We'll see if I get to it at some point, but not at the moment. Bill Skarsgård, I always thought he was going to be in that It show, that Pennywise show. So whenever they, you know, whenever this news just came out recently and people were like, oh, he's going to be in it. I was like, yeah, I kind of thought that was the point. I thought he was going to be in it in the first place ever since they announced it. It'd be really bad if he wasn't. But yeah, thank you, Marty, for that question. But if you head over to my Instagram, you'll see what I allow, what I don't. So, yeah. Jawad, I'm not, but I do have my own opinions when it comes to political topics, and that one, I think, was pretty clear-cut as to what we should all think of that. Oh, since your opinions contrast. Oh, Marty, that's what you're saying. Would you do a Stranger Things 3 versus 4 video since your opinions contrast? I wanted to make a video where I just talked about Stranger Things Season 4 in that video. That's what I wanted to do a while back, but never got around to doing it. It was just long script, and by the time I was finished writing it, Stranger Things had died out, so I didn't do it. Okay, and just letting you guys know, for anyone who does join my YouTube memberships, you'll have badges next to your usernames on the live chat and when you comment in my videos. And the longer you stay a member, it will evolve those badges and those icons next to your messages. So just letting you guys know that. So when you join a stream and you start commenting, you'll always see a very nifty badge next to your name. And the longer you become a member, whether it's for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever, it will evolve and change and look even better and more luxurious. Alright, Adam Grunther has got another $5 super chat. And he asks, what is your favourite fight scene in Godzilla x Kong? For me, it's Kong's first fight with the other apes. Loved seeing him use Little Kong as a weapon. Yeah, that was almost like a douchey bully kind of move, that was, but it served Diddy Kong right. Little Diddy Kong right. By the way, I'm just letting you guys know right now, when I do that versus video of Godzilla versus Kong versus Godzilla x Kong, I'm going to be calling him Diddy Kong. because that's just what the name that immediately comes to my mind. My favorite action scene, it'd probably be the final one when they're in the city and Scar King, his name was Scar King, wasn't it? When he uses that metal whip of his, he was like throwing the city at Godzilla and Kong and stuff, and that whole battle, I'd say that was the best battle in the movie. I mean, it's kind of like the big one, and it's the city. The city is the most interesting arena you can have a battle in, whether it's in a movie or in a video game. The city is where you always want to see these big action sequences. So yeah, I'd say that. Elite says you can't see the YouTube memberships. I mean, there should be a join button. Can you guys, before we start the stream, can you guys quickly answer this for me? Can you see the join button? Because I published it, so you guys should be able to see it. Hi, UJP. Did you guys see the join button? Big Bash can see it. Can you click it? Does it let you click it? Ethan's drawing sees it. The Dark Lord knows where the join button is. There is a join button, says JWK. The Time Shadow, he can see it. I can see it on my end. Found the join button. Yeah, Elite, everyone can see it. Oh, there you go. I can't see it on my end, is what Elite says. It's there after you subscribe. That's interesting. I thought the join button was always there, whether you subscribed or not. Elite, are you not subscribed or something? I'm assuming you would be, because you always come to these streams every time. Jess says, Avatar gets a 10 out of 10. The Last Airbender gets a 1 out of 10. Frickin' Paramount, man. They tried to force a live-action movie in the past, but after this movie, that is inexcusable. Yeah. Except this was Netflix this time that tried to do that. Spirit Hero says he can't see it. Are you guys watching on your phones or something? Maybe that's why. Maybe on your computers you'll be able to see it. Oh, Elite is subscribed. Okay, that's what I kind of expected. Okay, Spirit Hero says, I'm watching this on my phone, on my YouTube app, and I'm subscribed. I can't see it. Okay, you're using the YouTube app. Maybe that's why they don't let you join using the YouTube app. Is everyone else watching... Hi, Shark Lord. Is everyone else watching on the desktop? On their computers? That's the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll go straight to the stream. I can see it on my phone. A lot of you guys, Okay, that's interesting, JWK. I'm on my computer, I can see it, and I'm on my phone. Okay, that's interesting. So a lot of you can, and some of you can't. One says you have to subscribe. I'm looking at it on my phone. And, well, I don't think it lets me join because... You know, I own this channel. It's not going to let me join, is it? But I was hoping I'd just see the name there. But yeah, that's all right. Whenever you can, when you do see it, you can then use it, and then in the future streams there'll be emojis next to your name and everything. So, yeah. Okay, so anytime you want to click that join button or whatever, you can do it anytime you want to. With that said. Charleston says, I recall seeing it before, but I can't right now for some reason. Okay. Okay, Eric II says, you can still join on phone. Yeah, okay, then that's that. Maybe it was just a one-time weird thing, I don't know. Yeah, Shark Lord, I did say your name. Okay, before we get to the stories, like I always say, guys, I'm going to be focusing on the story at hand, so that way I can be coherent when I'm talking about it. So I won't be able to answer any of your questions in the chat. If you guys want to watch, if you guys want to say, yes, Matthew, I did say I'll start doing Skype videos for that perk, for the group of people that join it. So, if you guys want to ask me any questions during the stream as I'm covering these stories, I won't be answering them unless you do a super chat or a Streamlabs chat, which I just realized I've not put in the chat right here. So let's just copy that and put it in right now. So if you guys want any questions answered as I'm doing these, then that's what you have to do. So you can use Streamlabs and donate that way and ask your question, and I'll get it on my phone. Or you can do it through Super Chats, and I'll answer your questions that way. All right? So, with that said, let's move on to the first story. Vup. There we go. Pixar sequels and reboots on the way. 2 likely franchises reportedly revealed. So, as we all know, Disney and Pixar, they really do struggle. CTG, thank you very much for showing up on the stream. And you can see there's a star emoji you've got right there. CTG, everyone, is the first person to join my YouTube memberships. He did it on the first day. And you can see he's got a little emoji next to his name there. And he's also marked in green, which is interesting. I didn't know that memberships had their names colored. So, yeah, things are going good, CTG. I'm glad you were able to join the stream. Okay. Alright, let's continue. Oh, that's great, Godzilla X Kong, that you can see it. Alright, so, great to see you, bud. Thanks very much. Now, let's get back to the story at hand. So, yeah, it looks like, Movie Fan, the first day I put up the join button on YouTube, and I allowed YouTube memberships. That is when CTG signed up for it, and now he's got an emoji, and you can see his as months go on, he'll get better emojis and everything, and labels and everything, and yeah, so basically he's benefiting from becoming a YouTube member. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Disney are basically trying to. It looks like they're panicking. It looks like they're trying to get Pixar to, instead of doing the live action reboots, now they're just trying to do these animated reboots. So yeah, 2 of the top contenders for these reboots right now seems to be The Incredibles and Finding Nemo. These seem to be right now the top contenders for franchises that they want to reboot. And first of all, no one wants to see it rebooted, and second of all, no one is going to do a better job than these original movies. These original movies came at a time when the creatives at Disney actually cared about what they put out. Now they just don't. They're just, you can just see they're desperately trying to get money, and they're so desperate that they're not even willing to come up with new ideas. These movies were new ideas at the time, but now they're not. Now they're old classic movies at this point, and they're just trying to remake them. And we've got a little bit of the article right here as to where this information came about. In an interview with Bloomberg, Pixar president Jim Morris revealed that Pixar's roster of content is being considered for a reboot, with Finding Nemo and The Incredibles as strong candidates for new projects. The decision comes as Morris plans to balance new original ideas with sequels and spin-offs. So, in other words, if I get my notes up here. In other words, Disney are panicking and grasping at straws. They're doing more remakes and not original ideas. And this is the last thing that people want. It just continues to show how people, or how the studios, the people at these Disney studios, they're just so out of touch with what audiences want. It's like when people said make better stuff, they did not say to do this, but this is what Disney are doing right now. So, it's just infuriating when you see stuff like this. It's like, how much louder do we have to complain to Disney before they realize that, oh, that's what you guys want? And what we want is just basically what they used to do. It's not like we're telling them to do anything different. Spider Guy says Disney are out of ideas. Well, yes, they are. They certainly seem so. And it really is annoying. Ugh. Like, what do you say to this? Whenever you hear some dumb stuff from Disney again, you're just like, well, of course. Of course they did that. Making remakes are not original ideas. And it seems like Disney is doing what Disney does best these days, which is just piss off their audience. and throw money at things that don't need it. For example, did you hear that new Acolyte show was apparently given a $180 million budget, whereas the Obi-Wan Kenobi show was given $90 million. They gave double the budget to a show that was basically forced on them by Kathleen Kennedy during the pandemic, that she had to sideswipe them. They did not, because she sideswiped them, you know that she sideswiped them, because they said no more greenlighting movies or shows after Solo flopped. And she didn't care. So she went to one of the trades, just one of the trades, I think it was the New York Times or something, and told them to put out, oh, this show that we're doing called The Acolyte. Even though Disney did not announce that themselves. If Disney announced it themselves, it would be official. All the trades will be talking about it. But only one trade broke the story, which means that Kathleen Kennedy went rogue. And she tried to just go, like, you know, sneak an announcement out there when the studio didn't want to. So they were basically strong-armed into doing that show, apparently, because Leslie Headland, who is the showrunner for that show, she came on board and she was told... Well, not told. She basically went to go find funding because Disney didn't want to fund it, and she went to some dodgy characters to go fund it. And those characters want their money when it's invested. So because of that, that's ultimately why she made, or why Disney had to fork out and say, all right, fine, we'll help get this made. And The Acolyte, yeah, why would they give it a $180 million budget, though? That is just dumb. But yeah, that's separate from the point. But basically, their budgets are all over the place. What they're choosing to spend their money on is all over the place. And they're not spending the money on what they need to be spending on, the stuff that deserves the money to be spent. CTG says, still, Godzilla -1 looks better with a $15 million budget. Yeah, it does. With a $15 million budget, it does look a lot better than what Disney are releasing right now. Trevor Bistro says, leave up Coco Ratatouille alone. Hey, if they're coming after The Incredibles, I think it's all bets are off at that point. They'll probably come for everything. Saeed says the reboot is going to be wokeified. Well, who knows? I feel like they should know at this point that's not making them any money. If anything, it's distanced their audience from watching these movies, like Lightyear and so on and so forth, and Strange World. So, yeah, I think they should know better now not to, but at the same time, who says they will? The common sense is something that Disney just don't seem to have in their skill set, unfortunately. And they call themselves a studio. So yeah, this is just ridiculous. I think it's really ridiculous. What do you guys think of this whole situation? Big Bash says Disney is like the meme of the old man who is trying to be hip and end up being cringe. Yep. Ahsoka show sucks. I don't think it sucked, but I don't think it was as good as it should have been. Pixar is better than Disney in my opinion sometimes. Pixar was back in the day. Why do you think Disney bought them out? They just bought them out because Disney were not doing as good as Pixar. Pixar was becoming the new go-to studio. So Disney bought them out. Bob Iger bought them out, which is what he does best. He just buys the competition. And then he sinks the competition. The competition that was doing so well buys them out and then turns them into crap. Which is essentially what he's done with Pixar, he's done it with Marvel, and he's also done it with Lucasfilm as well. Fireboy says, I'm really tired of Toy Story sequels. I'm not looking forward to Toy Story 5. Me neither, because at Toy Story 4, I've only seen it once in theaters, and that was it. The rest of them I've seen so many times, and yeah, I just don't ever want to see Toy Story 4 again, so yeah. JWK says, make me the head of Disney. I can do better job than these clowns. Yep. I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, that's the first story. Has anyone got any more things they want to say about it before we move on to the next story? also, if you guys can give this live stream a thumbs up, that would also be very helpful as well. Ethan's Drawing says, I always wanted Pixar to re-release Toy Story with no changes, but with updated visuals and remastered animation. I personally think that the first one looked still very good in the state it's in. It's just when the human characters come in you really notice the downgrade. CTG says, Disney pulled an Apple move when they bought Beats and removed the charging brick from the iPhone box. Yep. Just making the product worse, essentially, is what they are. They're stripping it of what, you know, essentially of its parts. Disney just has no idea how to win back audiences, says Elite. Yeah, I agree. Toy Story 5 has potential if they don't mess up. Well, they've been messing up a lot lately, so... yeah. The G-Gamer, CEOs trying to not make stupid choices, challenge impossible. Uh-huh. Drake Holly says 2 thumbs up for you, Eric. Oh, thank you very much. Lee says, Disney is like the kid in the schoolyard who told a joke and everyone threw tomatoes at him. Matthew says, when I see the dog in Toy Story, it looks like something out of a PS2 game. It does, doesn't it? It looks like an unfinished model. Spirit Hero says, get rid of the terrible KS... oh, get rid of the terrible Disney, Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, the KS, I think you said. Yeah, they're both... they need someone new. Star Wars we know, Marvel we don't know who they can get, but anyone at this point I'd say would do a better job. Disney doesn't want to lose, but they've just lost their way. They've hired in all these new people that seem to have no idea what they're doing, and then you have people like Kevin Feige, who, I don't know what he's doing. It's like he's trying to pander to a certain audience who just never liked these movies in the first place. Like the social media crowd is what I'm referring to. Rather than going the way of doing diversity in a very good way, like the Spider-Verse animated movies, he decided to do it in a different way instead, the way that felt like it was pointing the finger at audiences. Apologize for that, I just hit the microphone there. Oh, that's nice. Caleb says, really great video. My Mulan 1998 versus Mulan 2020 is my favorite video of all time. Oh, thank you very much, Caleb. I really appreciate that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next story, which is regarding Captain America Brave New World. So, Giancarlo Esposito has apparently been hired to play the villain in Captain America Brave New World. Now, the only reason this is possible is because of the reshoots. I heard a while back now, about a couple months ago, I heard that Marvel were looking to write a new villain in Captain America Brave New World, and they were going to write a new villain and bring that new villain in the reshoots. And it turns out that villain they got is Giancarlo Esposito. And he's going to be playing the villain, who apparently was described as an agent of chaos. Yup. Now... now, look, Marvel are trying to go for a Dark Knight thing here. And quite frankly, no one has been able to replicate the agent of chaos thing that Christopher Nolan did with the Dark Knight and did with Joker. And we sure as heck know for a fact that of all people, the MCU will definitely not be able to do that. Especially since this is all being added as part of their rewrites and reshoots after they already shot the entire movie. So keep in mind, this movie, they delayed the release of this movie almost a whole year. And that was so they could do reshoots. And like I said, there were rumors that they were going to change the villain in the reshoots. And well, now we know who that new villain is. Well, we don't know who the new villain is. It's still a mystery villain. But the actor we know now is Giancarlo Esposito, and we've actually got a little set photo of him right here, looking like this. Honestly, that looks like a cheap overcoat. Do you see how cheap it looks? Whatever the character is he's playing, it looks like it's just a generic MCU villain. I don't look at that and think this is going to be like some cool villain. It just looks like they just last second. Part of reshoots is that reshoots are done faster than the original shoot. And this really does look like that. His costume design looks super cool, like just super rushed together. Looks like they're trying to get a little bit of a Bane vibe from The Dark Knight Rises in terms of giving him the big overcoat. That's the vibe I get. So an Agent of Chaos, Bane, it looks like they're trying to go for a bit of a Nolan-y thing here. But they're not smart enough to pull that off. Jess says he looks like a Latino Blade, and Saeed says, why does he look like a woman? Trevor Bistro says, a great actor, but hope it doesn't ruin his career. I hope so too. Well, you're noticing that Marvel will keep getting these actors who we think are going to be in great roles, but then it turns out they're not. It's like, we thought Giancarlo Esposito would be in like a big role, but he's just the replacement villain they got, that they wrote in rewrites and did in reshoots for the Captain America 4 movie. Spirit Hero says it best. This is Disney's shoddy attempt to copy better movies. It's clearly a panicking move. It's like they're thinking, alright, what do we do? What do we do? So they're trying to now look at better movies and try to hype this movie up by saying, oh yeah, we pulled from that. We pulled from this. The movie is not standing on its own. And yeah, insane amount of reshoots to release the movie next year. And I don't think this is going to work out. Whenever Marvel do reshoots and they try to fix things in post, it never works out for them. Yeah, the Dark Lord says, this dude looks like a knockoff Nick Fury to me. That's what I also thought. I mean, he's not bald, but he's got very thin hair, so it's like, yeah, technically, get rid of the hair and he looks just like, you know, a Nick Fury type. Trevor Bistro says, I thought he was going to play Professor X. I heard that too. And then they just make him play this random character. Captain America 4 is going to bomb, says Elite. Let's see. Looks like someone has given a Streamlabs chat, so let's quickly pop over and see what the person's asked and who it is. Oh, I got a £7.86 donation. £7.86 donation from Iron Warrior. He says, hey, been a minute since I've been here. It sure has. I finished the last season of The Bad Batch and really enjoyed the finale and ending that they gave the show. I did too. I loved what they did with the ending. But it almost kind of made me feel sad that they were that were leaving the characters. What are your thoughts on the final season and finale? Also, have you watched the last Mad Max movie? Okay, very quickly I'll say I haven't seen the last Mad Max movie. It just looks the same as the Mad Max Fury Road, so I was like, there's no need to see it. And I said to myself, am I going to do a versus video of it? And I was like, no, so there's really no point. In terms of Bad Batch Season 3, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a weird start in the first episode or two. I thought the pacing was a bit weird. But then the rest of it became great. I love the characters. I love the arc. I love seeing the characters get back together again. I love seeing the ending and how it all wrapped itself up. I thought it was beautifully done. And when it ended, I was like, this is not as good as the Clone Wars, but I still liked the ending. How it took out the villain at the end with the rain and everything, and how it ended and did a surprise flash forward. That was beautifully done. It made me sad that the show was over. I was like, oh, I'm going to miss these characters. So it was great. I loved it. I'm glad it was able to have a really good ending. I do wish I got to see more of the clones, though, because they did say something interesting about the clones starting to realize what the Empire did to them and how they made them turn on the Jedi. I did want to see more of that. But thank you very much, Iron Warrior, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And you did it on Streamlabs as well, which was great. King the Monster says, is there a way to send images via Streamlabs? Want to send a surprise? I don't know. Give it a try. I've not checked. What image do you want to send? I mean, if you send me a link, maybe I could click it and just so long as it's an appropriate image. It's nothing, you know, bad like some people on the chat. There was a person on the chat that was always trying to say to people, look this up. It was always bad. Jess says, "Hey Eric, you called the Black Widow villain Harvey Weinstein and called him Mr. Crappy Villain. That was funny." Yeah, it did look like they were trying to, do that. Like, they would always pick figures from Hollywood and say, this villain is meant to represent that person, like Trump or whatever. So, yeah. Caleb says, "You haven't watched Loki. Why?" "Because I got pissed off when Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucked. That was the show I was looking the most forward to, and then it sucked. And I just lost all faith. I felt like I needed a break from Marvel. So, yeah, I took a break. I didn't watch Loki, and I didn't watch What If Season 1. So, yeah, that's why I didn't see them. But like I said, because I've got this new thing I'm doing on YouTube memberships, it is possible. It does mean maybe I could watch Loki and you guys could join me as I watch it. So, a little clue there as to what I might be having coming up on YouTube memberships. So, definitely want to stick around and get the lowest level perk on YouTube memberships, and we might be able to do that together. So, no, Joey Nichols, my thoughts haven't changed. I do think the first half of the movie was boring and the second half was better. So yeah, anyone else got anything else to say about Giancarlo Esposito in this movie? Because I'm just put off, to be perfectly honest with you. Fireboy says he looks like a black version of Agent Smith. Well, with those puckered lips he's got in that shot, it's almost like a Mr. Anderson. It's almost a bit like that, is it? Look at his puckered lips in that. Big Bash says he looks lame. Matthew says Loki was the best MCU show. That's what people tell me. But people thought it was going to connect to Multiverse of Madness. Then it turns out it didn't. So that was a disappointment, wasn't it? It made the Loki show feel less relevant. Khan says, "I don't care for this movie, and I don't care if it even succeeds or not." Yeah, it doesn't seem like a movie anyone would want at this point. Hey Eric, I saw your Instagram story about this movie's budget. Are you rewinding backwards? Because I think I didn't talk about this movie's budget. I think I talked about Mission Impossible's budget. So if you're watching, if you're referring to that, probably. Kidding, sir. Let's be real about the fact that many people don't. Let's be real about not that many people care about this movie. Yeah, no one does. And Marvel doesn't have the trust on their side that they've had before to where we would even think this would be a good movie. Okay. Let's move on to the next story. And now this story, I wasn't even going to cover this, really, because it's just a funny gag, which is kind of what you would expect for Deadpool 3. But then I thought... I would, because I'm noticing a trend that Hollywood are suddenly jumping onto to hype up the release of their movies. After Dune had a very popular popcorn bucket that went viral on social media, that popcorn bucket was this one right here. It seems that Hollywood are now trying to do the same thing to bolster up their upcoming movies, and they are putting extra emphasis on these popcorn buckets. And we will have to see if this is a trend worth jumping on, or if it was a one-time thing with Dune Part 2. But I think this is actually a very conscious marketing thing they're doing to hype up their movies. That's what I basically think it is, and it is funny when you fill up the popcorn in Wolverine's mouth and put it on its side. It does look funny. Spirit Hero, I would disagree that Marvel will keep trying to sexualize everything. The reason he's got a big mouth is because that's where the popcorn goes in. So, and when you fill it with popcorn, it does actually look kind of funny when it's on its side. There's a trailer of it on YouTube that Ryan Reynolds put up on his channel. So what do you guys think? Do these popcorn buckets hype you up for the release of these movies, or does it have no impact on you? For me, I think it's a funny thing, but it wouldn't change my mind as to whether I should see the movie in theaters or not. But it is a funny little gag. It is a good bit of marketing, just a little bit of an extra push of marketing, but that's really about it for me. The movie to me is still the movie. But this does make it seem a bit more like an event if they can do something like this. Because apparently the Dune one, apparently it sold out when they did it. Rohan says, yes, it does. Okay, there you go. Even the tongue is textured. Whose idea was it? Well, clearly Ryan Reynolds. No, Big Bash, it's not the last story. There's one more story I've got after this as a bonus. Thing is, as much as it is Ryan Reynolds' idea, I wonder if the studio asked him, could you make a popcorn bucket like Dune? Because Dune's was very popular. It became a meme on social media, and there's a lot of people showing themselves afraid to even put their hand inside and all that. So people are thinking maybe that was one of the reasons Dune Part 2 did so well, is because there was a good little fun marketing push towards it. Charlton says, I'm going to buy this popcorn bucket when it releases 100%. Well, there you go. It looks like it's gotten some of you excited. Eric, would you do a versus video with Godzilla vs. Kong and Ape vs. Monster? Nah, because that's one of those Asylum movies, isn't it? We all know that's gonna suck. I'm surprised there isn't a bucket of Deadpool, though. You'd think there would be. Like, you know, because the whole marketing thing about Deadpool Wolverine is they both throw jabs at each other. So you'd think that... I'm surprised that they did not announce a second one, or at least in a two-part way they didn't announce a second bucket of, like, Deadpool. So you have the popcorn bucket of Wolverine, then say a few days later, Wolverine shoots back and releases a popcorn bucket of Deadpool. You know, something like that. George Phillips says, I still haven't watched Dune yet. I might soon, though. I still haven't seen Dune Part 2 yet either. I'm still waiting for a friend of mine to, you know, get the 4K, or at least someone else that we know gets a 4K. Yeah, Big Bash, I agree. It's like, how is it sexual? I mean, you can make obvious jokes about it, but I don't really see what's sexual about that. Yeah, Connor, that's a good idea. Maybe if they did a Deadpool one, the hole might go into his brain, maybe. Because he does tend to get shot and then healed up, so yeah. Maybe. Or maybe it's his mask pulled up halfway and then his mouth open wide or something. Or what if it's Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine, the one with the stitched up mouth, and they open that mouth up? Kidding Cell has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much for that, bud. Says, can you believe Across the Spider-Verse is already a year old? Yeah, I heard people saying that. That was a thing that was going around where people are saying, can you believe it's just been a year already? I'll do you one better, though. Can you believe that originally we were supposed to get Beyond the Spider-Verse by now? I mean, we would have been able to see the movie at this point if it stuck to its release date. No, Eric II, I do recognize, you know, the sexual side of the bucket, but it seems more like it's, I mean, come on, it's too obvious a joke. It's way too obvious a joke, and you know that mouth is not there done just for the sake of a dirty joke. It's like, well, where's your popcorn gonna go? It's obviously gonna go there, isn't it? Time flies like crazy. It sure does. This is coming out next month now, isn't it? We're in June. Oh yeah, June the 10th is my birthday. I'm going to be 29 soon. Darn it. I'm close to leaving my 20s. Kevin says, is Venom 3 going to be rated R? I wouldn't expect it to be. Sony got no balls. They really haven't. The Time Shadow says that the popcorn bucket has no impact. I was already going to see the film in theaters. Yeah, same with me. I couldn't really care less about having this stuff. I mean, it's fun to look at, it's fun on social media, it's fun to talk about, but would I actually want to bring this in my house? Not really. Just give me a regular popcorn bucket. It feels more traditional. The only reason you would have this is if you just want to be weird and sit in the living room with your family and just have your popcorn in that. That's the only reason I would think, you know, you would want to have something like this. But then the novelty would wear off very quickly. Alright then, so now we get to move on to the final story. Which is Mission Impossible 8. Now, for those of you that don't know, oh, before we do, looks like someone's done another donation through Streamlabs. So let's take a look, see who did it. It's Iron Warrior again, this time doing a £3.93 Streamlabs chat. Again, thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate it. Oh, and he's talking about this story. Not really sure why Mission Impossible 8 is going with an insane budget, considering that the last movie lost some money last year. They put themselves in the position to make $1 billion in order to break even, plus they had a submarine delay. Yeah. That's what we're going to talk about right now. So yeah, Mission Impossible, I agree with you, Iron Warrior. Let me bring up my notes here. Oh, looks like I didn't write any notes. It's just very simple at this point. Well, yeah, basically, the budget for Mission Impossible 8 is going to be a whopping $400 million before marketing. So, yeah, that's the budget that Mission Impossible 8 has skyrocketed towards. And also, keep in mind, this is Paramount. Paramount are also making Gladiator 2. And didn't that budget also balloon up to, like, you know, was it 500 million? Let's have a look. Gladiator 2 budget. 310 million it went up to. 310 million is insane, and that's before marketing. So basically they need to make close to $1 billion just to break even. Close to $1 billion. So the question is, will Gladiator 2 make close to $1 billion, and will Mission Impossible 8 make close to $1 billion? I've actually got the Mission Impossible budgets loaded up here, which I'll bring up in a second. But first, we've got another super chat here of $5 from Crazy Cat Lady. Should be called Nice Generous Cat Lady, who says, I heard people think Carlos is going to be Henry Guy Rich from X-Men. Is that the rumor? Because I was looking around, didn't get the rumor. Oh, Henry Guy Rich is supposed to be the guy that in the first X-Men that Mystique impersonated to Senator Kelly in the helicopter. That's supposed to be Henry Guy Rich that they had, and they said that Guy Rich was dead. So, interesting. That'd be interesting if he plays that character. Spirit Hero says, I have to go now, Eric. See you in the next stream. No problem, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Let's see here. Okay, so here is the production budgets for the other Mission Impossible movies. Now, Mission Impossible, you can see here, Dead Reckoning had the biggest budget of $290 million, and that's because they had to build their own train that they crashed practically. So that cost a lot of money. So near $300 million, and it made $566 million worldwide, so that lost them money. So $290 million is the biggest budget they've got, but now add an extra $110 million to that, and that's how much Mission Impossible 8 costs. So yeah, I think Mission Impossible 8 is pretty much screwed. It's like it has to make $1 billion, and it's not made $1 billion. The most these movies have made was Mission Impossible Fallout, that made $786 million. They've not exceeded that. So Yeah, there's no way it's going to... I don't think it's going to exceed that. And Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning failing at the box office was a shame, because I think it was a genuinely great movie. The problem is that it was one of the last summer blockbusters to release in a year where summer blockbusters were coming out week after week after week. Like, every other week they were releasing a new blockbuster, and they all sucked. None of them were good. It's like you could only pick one or two that were good, but the new Transformers movie that was there at the time and many others, they were just bad movies. So I think it wore people out. It even wore me out, to the point where even I was thinking, should I even watch the next Mission Impossible movie? I was like, I don't think I want to. That's how much it wore us out, that we just didn't want to. So yeah. And Trevor Bistro says, Mission Impossible 7 bombed due to the Barbenheimer situation. That was, I'm sure, another situation as well, because, yeah, Barbenheimer was right around the corner, and people went to go see that, and that really did just cannibalize Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning's box office propositions and prospects. But I do think it was because people were just sick and tired of blockbusters that, even I was getting sick and tired of blockbusters, and this is the one that I was looking the most forward to. So, yeah, says a lot, Rat does. Big Bass says, so the budget is over 500 million? Well, once you factor in marketing, then yeah, probably it would be about 500 million. Dr. Virtual says, hello Eric, how are you? I'm a fan of your content, been watching for years. Having a good weekend? I am having a good weekend. It's been a very busy weekend, but I'm having a good weekend. Thank you very much for asking. But yeah, I think Tom Cruise should have delayed the release of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning because it also got off... It also didn't have premium screens for that long, because Barbie and Oppenheimer were taking the IMAX and Dolby screens. So there wasn't really many premium screens you could watch the movie on after the first week or so. Because then, the other movies got it. And, yeah. It did not do well for them. King of the Monsters 2021, I prefer Mission Impossible Fallout. I thought that was the better movie. But yeah. It's a funny situation what's going on here. So yeah, I don't think after Mission Impossible 8, I don't think we're going to get any more Mission Impossible movies, which I think, unless it performs incredibly well by some miracle, I don't think we're going to get any more Mission Impossible movies. So it might be the last one. Kidding Cell says, Eric, will you be seeing Mufasa or Sonic 3 first? I'll be seeing Sonic 3. Elite says it should have an August release date. Well, that was the month that Barbenheimer came out, wasn't it? So I think they had to delay it more than that, I think. The most insane stunt, Big Bash, that Tom Cruise has done? I don't know, he's done so many. Holding his breath underwater for, was it 7 minutes or something he had to do in the 5th one? And he had to jump into that big water thing for real. That was insane. But that's just one of the many insane stunts he does. Yep, the most insane... Big Bash says the most insane one was climbing the building in Dubai. I agree, that was also insane. Matthew says, wasn't it planned to be the last Mission Impossible? They didn't make any of those plans. That was going to be another movie. It was going to be the end of a two-parter. That's what it was going to be. But no, not the end of the franchise. If they could make more, they were going to. I think Tom Cruise says he would keep making more Mission Impossible movies, as much as he could. So I think he wanted to do more of them. Oh, Elite says it was July that Oppenheimer and Barbie came out. I thought it was August for some reason. Okay, then yeah, August would have been better. Trevor says, Tom Cruise is definitely my favorite action star. Jess says, Eric, I thought you liked Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That film was not trying to get the Disney treatment. Yeah, I kind of felt like it was in one aspect. It was the female character. They didn't make it the wokey type, but they definitely did. They just... A little bit of a minor spoiler here, but it is shown in the trailers, so I'll let you know right now. They make her an intelligent human. And the first 3 movies did such an amazing job of showing you just how effective that virus was, and now we're supposed to expect that, yeah, the virus didn't affect everyone. And there's no explanation for it. I did not like that. It felt like... Excuse me. It felt like something that they just did just for the sake of doing it, and I think it was way too early to do that. George Miller or George Lucas? George Lucas, of course. Thunderlord says, are you the most famous person in your family? Well, seeing as I'm the only one in my family doing YouTube like this, then yes, I think I would be. But famous is not a word I personally use. Alright then, so, time for a Q&A. So, are there any questions that you guys have to ask me? Also, everyone, for any, one of the perks that is on the YouTube memberships that I'm doing is a get-together, a Skype get-together with everyone who joins me on the appropriate perk, and we get to do a 30-minute chat on Skype where we see each other's faces, and we get to talk about movies, TV shows, games, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about on Skype. That is another thing that you can do if you become a member and get the appropriate membership on YouTube. You get that, as well as all the previous perks that are on there. And of course, you'll get your badges as well on the live stream and when you comment on my videos. We can't play Sonic Heroes together, but we can talk about it and we can say what it's like when we've played these games. If we've played these games, you know, what games have we played, what movies have we seen, what TV shows, whatever you want to talk about in that in regards to entertainment, and we can do that. That's only going to be exclusively for YouTube members. Elite says, is your YouTube membership or Patreon better? Well, I bought a lot of my Patreon perks over to YouTube memberships, so you get those as well. I think it really just depends what you want. Patreon, the only different thing that I have there is my Let's Watch show, which YouTube would not be as accommodating towards, you know, because of copyright strikes and stuff, so I've left that on Patreon. And of course, you can commission videos and request videos from me on Patreon. I've streamlined it and made it more simple on YouTube memberships. Memberships is more like you get your trailer reactions, but then you also get watch-alongs, which is a new show I'm going to be doing, with some stuff. You also get early access to Versus videos as well here. And you also get, like I said, the call-in show, which is exclusively for members. So, there's plenty. Kidding says, oh, and heads up, Eric, I most likely won't be able to show up to your next 2 streams because I'm leaving to go to Japan next week. Oh, cool. Well, I hope you enjoy. Hope you have a fun time. Although, if you have internet down there and you just so happen to jump into a stream, be sure to jump in and let us know what it's like in Japan and how you're, what, you know, if you're having a fun time and everything. Jess says, my name is Ong, and I'm the Avatar. Big Bush says, Eric, what do you think is the biggest flaw of the shows after the original Ben 10, besides Ben's sudden personality shift? I liked his personality shift in the first 2 seasons of Alien Force. It showed that he had matured and grown up. Well, you know, meeting him 5 years later here. But it was after that, in Season 3 of Alien Force, where he became super immature. And then in Ultimate Alien, he also became immature. And the reason that happened is because Warner Brothers, rather, who, you know, own Cartoon Network and stuff, they says, well, your viewing numbers are not as strong as they used to be with Ben 10, so we want them to be stronger. So Ben being immature, that must have got a lot of kids in, so do that. That's what happened, and it wasn't good. Okay, we've got a £1.18. Let me write this down. Streamlabs chat from King of the Monsters 2021. And let's see, he sent me an image. He says, here's an image. He says, what does he say? Here's something cursed I did. Oh man, that is quite something, isn't it? You know what? Let me just bring that into the live stream, what King of the Monsters wanted me to see. Let's see, where is it? He sent me an image, and it's quite an image. Where did it go? Where did it go? I've got a lot of crap in this folder. There we go. Alright. This is what he sent me. I mean, you guys just take a look at how crazy this is. What do you guys think of that? Godzilla Modern Warfare from the director of John Wick chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I can't even make out what those credits are down here. Kyle Chandler's name is there. It looks like, I don't know what else. The names are so blurred, but yeah, that's a very weird that's a very weird thing to get. Smoothie King, I did the Beetlejuice 2 trailer on my Patreon or my YouTube memberships, whichever one you want to check out, and you can see my trailer reaction and my thoughts there, my detailed thoughts. I don't know how to rank the Mission Impossible movies because I've not seen the first 3 in years. So I will say 4, 6, and 5. Sorry, 4, 6, 7, and 5 is how I would order the newer ones. But I can't remember the first 3. Second one I saw as a kid. Third one I saw as a kid. First one I saw many years back, and I can't remember them enough to rank them. Dark Lord says, Godzilla looks so stupid with that helmet. No thanks, that's a miss for me. Absolutely incredible. Well, King of the Monsters, there you go. Everyone's reacted to your poster. Elite says, best movie in 2024, hands down. That is pretty good. Although I would color correct it to make the contrast a bit higher because it does look a bit too bright in places. Let's see, can I increase the contrast myself? Let me quickly see. On this stream, yep, color correction. Let's just up the contrast a bit, just to make it a little bit darker. Here you go, this is what I would do. Has it come through on the camera? Has it? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if it's doing it on the image. Maybe it is. Let me just go back and let me just increase the brightness like crazy. Oh, are you guys seeing it live as I'm doing it? Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, it was originally at that, and I thought it needed to be darkened just a bit. I didn't know it changes it live. I've told it not to do that. So yeah, just a little bit darker, but anyway. That is a funny image, I will say. That's before, that's after. Big Bash says, Eric, it was my brother's birthday a few days ago. He turned 20. Oh, happy belated birthday. Godzilla -1 or Top Gun Maverick? Godzilla -1. Big Bash says, Eric, how does it feel to be almost 30? I don't like it. When you're young, you think you're never gonna become 30. That's so long, far away. And well, now I am. And then when after 30 happens, you're getting closer to 40. Kidding Soul says, speaking of contrast, I rewatched TF 2007. What about Transformers 2007 recently? And does anyone realize how weird the saturation and contrast is? If you talk about Transformers 2007, yeah, but that's just something that I don't know why, but it's something that what's his name? Michael Bay. That's something that for some reason he just likes to do. He loves to pump that contrast all the way up. Watch his movie The Island, for example. He just does it. I don't know why. All his later movies as well, he loves that strange contrast. Matthew says, hey Eric, I can convince you that The Amazing Spider-Man 1 Uncle Ben's death was good. You can try, but I did not think it was a good death. So I'd be surprised if you could convince me. Go ahead and you can go ahead and try if you want to. Oh boy, Marty says, how much would it cost to commission the Stranger Things 4 video you said you were considering making? I'd probably have to watch the show again because it's been a long time and I really don't want to see it again. And making videos on TV shows takes a long time because there's so much footage to go through. And these episodes in Stranger Things Season 4, they made it like an hour and a half each. So it got even crazier with how long it was. So I would have to create a new commission cost for the Stranger Things 4 video. I mean, if you're up for it, let me know. We can talk and I'll probably do it if you really want it that bad. But I've not created that perk for it. But Marty, if you're interested, we'll talk about it. But yeah. I mean, it is going to make for a good video. If you wanted to see me talk about Stranger Things Season 4, what I didn't like about it and everything, and you want me to go into detail and everything, it will make for a really good video. But it will take for a lot of work as well, and I've got a lot of other videos I need to work on, so that's why I've not put it on a list, and I've just kind of dismissed it. It's not a video I intend to make anymore, especially because when Stranger Things Season 5 comes out, it's like, what's the point? But if you really want it, we can talk, and if I come to a commission cost I'm willing to do, then we can do it. So it's on the table, I'd say that, but the ball's in your court right now. Matthew, I don't talk about that kind of stuff, so please don't ask me again. I'm open with you guys, but I like to maintain some distance about certain things, because if you get certain people on the channel, you say things, all of a sudden they'll look at you in a different way or whatever. That is stuff that does happen, so yeah, it's not something I like to give out. Whether I am, whether I'm not, because people on both sides might look at it the wrong way. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name here. Kinda not Josh, that is it. Kinda not Josh. will you do a rewatch and Q&A challenge of something for followers? You mean for people that join me on YouTube? Yeah, that's what I am intending to do with my watch-along show. That'll be something that I will be doing for followers, so yeah. Let me ask you guys this. I'll probably do a poll for people on the channel as well, but let me ask you guys this poll. Let me move this out of the way. On YouTube memberships, what would you like me to cover for episode for our first watch along? Would you like me to watch Loki season 1, which will eventually follow with Loki season 2? Or would you like me to watch something else, a different show like X-Men 97? This is for YouTube memberships. Would you join YouTube memberships to get that content? Let me know and post your polls. What would you like me to see each episode of and cover on YouTube memberships, which would make you want to subscribe to YouTube memberships? Because like I said, not only does this support my channel, but it also is giving content back to you guys that you want, because there's too much stuff to cover. I can't cover everything, so you split up the content in other ways that you can. So watch-alongs is another way I can, and this will be specific for you guys who click that join button and follow me. As well as getting this, you'll also get, keep in mind, as well as getting this, you will also get trailer reactions, which will be unlocked to you, and you'll also get emojis and badge. Well, I haven't got emojis yet. I think it's badges. And the badges will evolve as the longer you stay a YouTube member. And it will always appear at the end of your comments on the live chat and on the comments on my videos. It will always show up, and you'll basically get constant updates to your badge. And it will always change. The longer you're a member, it will change. And it will have a jewel on it and a ruby. And my eCotman 12 logo attached. So yeah, X-Men 97 or Loki Season 1. And this will be on YouTube memberships. The Dark Lord says, if I could, I'd go for Loki. Jess is like, watch Loki. Marty says, okay, Eric, is there an email address you have where I can get in contact with you and we can discuss this further? Go over to my Patreon. If you go over to my Patreon, we can talk there. Because this will be most likely a Patreon thing, and we can discuss it there. Kidding says, alright, Eric, I'm going to peace out. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Thanks for watching. Take care. Oh, wow. Elite has, you can all see on the chat, super chat, not super chat, what is it? The chat, dumb me. It's 11 o'clock, it's past 11 o'clock at night, so forgive me. I usually get tired at this point. Elite has become a channel member, and it shows in the chat room. And there you go, Elite has now got a green logo on his name, and he's got the star right next to it, which is how you'll start out. And the longer you become a member, that will change to a different logo, and then it'll have a ruby on it and a jewel on it and stuff like that. Elite just bought the membership, so let's just write this down here. This will be the stream where I always remember that Elite became a member. Thank you very much, Elite, for that. Like I say, these always does. This really does support my channel whenever you guys do this, and I've always been curious about doing YouTube memberships. And yeah, now you'll get my trailer reactions and my watch-alongs. Although, have you been a patron on Patreon? In which case, you'll already have been getting my trailer reactions, and you'll also be getting your name on the credits of, at the end of my Versus videos. Manola, yes, I am a fan of Total Drama. I'm a fan of Total Drama, and I stopped watching by season, was it 3? That's where I was watching a few episodes. It wasn't as funny as the first 2 seasons. Hey, good night to you too, Fireboy. Thank you very much for joining. And Elite, thank you very much for joining. Join the stream and joining twice. We've also got another, let's see, another Streamlabs chat from King of the Monsters. And he's done a £1.18 super chat again. He says one more. There's another picture he wants to show us. Let's see. This one's also quite amusing. Let's save it here. Where is that picture gone? Oh, there it is. Here's another one. Oh, Elite was on Patreon, but he's switching over to YouTube. That's great. What perk on Patreon were you? Which, was it the $1 one? Was it the $2, the $5? Let me know, I'm curious. Matthew, my favorite song, there's too many, but my favorite song is We're Not Gonna Take It. Yeah, well, Elite, hopefully it works out for you well. Which Patreon member were you? Were you the free member? Were you the $1? What was it? I can't remember. The Let's Watch one, right. I still need to see the last few episodes of... What was it? The last few episodes of Invincible, which I still plan on doing, by the way. That's another show I still got to see. People are saying, what shows do you have to see? I'm like, well, that's one. Elite, I like how you've got the star next to your name, as well as your name being green. It's an interesting way of how YouTube filters the members, members on the channel. It's like, it means your comment from now on is going to stand out whenever you place your comments. Saeed, I haven't seen Descendants. But yeah, sorry everyone, this is the poster that he put up. It's another one. I like the first one better. I think that was funnier. But this one's still amusing as well. Big Bash says, Eric, what advice do you have for when you enter your 20s? Explore all your options and experience everything. And then as you get to your 30s, I feel like you might be able to have a more decisive idea as to what it is that you want to do. But at the same time, people in their 30s don't have it all figured out either. Matthew says, I've been trying to be a member too. Have you? Let me know if it works out. Your name will also, like I said, be highlighted. Okay, let's see. Let me end that poll. I think I should have ended it a while back, but let's end poll. Oh wow, Elite. It says Elite says it's my first time subscribing to a YouTube membership, so I'm new to it. Yeah, I've never subscribed to a YouTube membership either, which is why I was thinking what would make me want to subscribe to a YouTube membership. And if someone did what I'm doing with my memberships, that is something that would make me want to subscribe. So let's see. Oh, look at that. Loki Season 1 has won the poll, where people want to see me do a watch-along of Loki Season 1. Watch-along, just so you know, Elite, is not like my Let's Watch. On Patreon, you can show footage. You can get away with showing more, but YouTube is very strict when it comes to showing footage. So it will be presented in a different way. You'll have to have your copy of the episode, and we'll time it, the run times, so you can watch along with me, basically. That's how we'll be doing the watch-along. And I'm hoping to do it live as well. So it'll be catalogued and saved as a video for you to watch later, but it'll also be live. And then you can ask me questions as we're watching. And you can also, when I'm finished watching, you can ask me questions and I can tell you guys what I thought live as well. So it'll be a fun time, for sure. I'm going to have to figure out the kinks and everything and how to actually do it. But once we do, it should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to giving it all a test and see how it goes. It'll be like I'm watching stuff with you guys. It's almost like a watch party that way. So yeah. The G Gamer says, have you played the Telltale Walking Dead games? I played the first season with Lee and Clementine. That was great. I loved that. It even brought a tear out of me at the very end of it. That was really good. Seriously, Telltales was so good. Big Bash says, Eric, do you like commentary videos? Commentary videos. It depends, commentary videos. I don't know what you mean by commentary videos. Do you mean when the YouTuber does a commentary track on their own videos that they made? Yeah, those are interesting. Gives you a peek behind the curtain as well. Marty, you should be able to join for free, and that should allow you to contact me. Okay, Elite says, I know how YouTube works with the copyright, and I heard it's not fair for the creator. It's not. I mean, my videos, the same videos I've been making for a long time, they've become very hard to edit for because the copyright claims are so much more sensitive than they used to be. So my versus videos are harder to actually edit nowadays because I want to try to maintain the quality without getting a copyright claim, and that usually is harder. Like, I used to use actual music from the movies in my versus videos in the early days for so many of the versus videos, but then copyright claims became so tight on those, even with my commentary on top, it would still pick it up as a copyright claim. So then I had to find cover songs and stuff and get the content creators permissions for those kind of things and stuff like that. Big Bash says, what videos do you watch in your spare time? I like to watch a lot of videos I used to watch from channels I used to grow up watching. So I like to watch channels that are gaming related, movies related. Sometimes I like to watch here and there you watch food related channels as well, when depending if you're looking to make foods or whatever, like you watch Gordon Ramsay videos and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I watch. Okay, Marty, if you go to my YouTube channel... Hang on, how long have you been on YouTube making videos? I've been making videos for so many years now. Yeah, Matthew, I used to use the IT music in my versus videos, and I was so good at picking what music to use in my versus videos. People used to always love it when I used to do it. I loved it too, it was so much fun. Eric II, you've been waiting for Captain Eric to review Loki forever? Well, you'll get your chance now. If you join me on YouTube memberships, I'll watch every single episode, and you can watch them with me live when I do, and I'll talk about them as I'm watching it and review each individual episode, then give my final thoughts right at the end. So that's something that you can do. And yeah, we'll finally talk about it. And then if that proves to be a success and you like it, we'll see if we do Loki season 2. Matthew says, I gave my explanations on why Uncle Ben's death is good. Oh, Creative Crocodile says, finally joined in on the live. Usually I'm watching the recording. Well, it's great to see that you've joined in. And you joined in, and I just got to read your message instantly as you joined in, so that's good. We were just talking about the YouTube memberships that I was doing, and that I'm going to be covering Loki Season 1 on my, on the first perk of my YouTube memberships. So if anyone joins, they get the trailer reactions, they get to have a badge next to their name, and their name is highlighted green on the live streams. Just like with Elite right here, who's demonstrating that. And also you'll get to be a part of the Let's Watch, well, not Let's Watch, the watch-along show that I'm going to be doing, which is exclusive for YouTube members. And we'll be doing Loki with it. Elite says, the Versus video is like a movie itself, and it feels cinematic and fun to watch. Oh, that's nice to hear. I always try to. Like, whenever I'm talking about things that are serious, I try to make the music match what, you know, if I'm angry serious, the music has to be intense. If I'm serious, but being very constructive, and like, it's like I'm telling them, saying what it did wrong, almost like when like a parent tells their kid, this is what you've done wrong. The music has to be stern, but it has to be gentle as well, depending on my tone. I'm always very, very calculating when it comes to which music I use in my videos, and it takes a lot of work. So much work goes into it, and then you got to level it all out. It is the community section that I go to, right? Or am I just being completely dumb? Let's see. Jess, are you in the stream? You're in the stream, aren't you? You always message me on Patreon, even when you're donating or when you're not donating. Can you give Marty here some advice on that, because he wants to talk to me about potentially commissioning a Stranger Things 4 video where I talk about it and why I didn't like it very much. So if you could help him in the chat, that would be very good, because I know you have like contact me all the time on Patreon, so you've figured it out, but I don't contact myself on Patreon to that extent, so I don't know how it works. So if you could offer in the chat, if you could offer him help, that would be very helpful. If you can offer Marty some help. Shawclaw says, what was your favorite video you ever made and why? Oh, that's a big question. For the longest time, I always loved my Injustice Gods Among Us review for the PS Vita. And I also love my Spider-Man Edge of Time review for the 3DS, which took me a month to make back in the day on the family computer, which means I had less time to use it. I don't know. That's the best Versus video. Probably would be my It Versus video, or even It Chapter 2. I do like that. I did recently watch my Godzilla vs. Kong video, and I really enjoyed that too. I don't get much chances to re-watch my videos, but the ones that I'm like, okay, I'm really proud of that. I remember It Chapter 2 versus video, I was really proud of that. Even the first one. The first one I put a lot of effort and work into it, and I even made my segments have blood on it and everything. So that was cool. Matthew says, by the way, Eric, thanks for getting me into Young Sheldon. I'm just starting to watch it. Oh, great. It is a really nice show, and it is funny. Let's see. Elite says, what is your favorite MCU film, Eric? My favorite MCU film is The Winter Soldier. That's my favorite MCU film, too. Love The Winter Soldier. It's the one that feels... It was a movie that we all thought Captain America would have the worst sequel out of Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, all that. And he ended up having the best. And that was where the Russo brothers really stood out. And they've just been doing a great job ever since. The story I thought was the best in that movie, I thought. Matthew says, Eric, this is serious. I don't know if I want to watch YouTube anymore. I have a job now. I'm just waiting for the Underworld versus Resident Evil video. Yeah, like I said in a previous stream, that's not something that I'm going to be doing in the near future, but it is something which is that I want to do long term. So long term I will. Big Bash says, any rejected video ideas, Eric? Yes, I wanted to do X-Men 3, The Last Stand versus Dark Phoenix. And a big reason I wanted to do it was because I like the music for both movies, especially X-Men 3, and I wanted to use the music in the background of it. But then, like I said, the copyrights on YouTube, the censors became so much more sensitive, I couldn't use movie music in the background anymore. So that video that I wanted to make, because I wanted to really use the music, turns out I can't do it, make it the way I wanted to anymore. So that's a video that I've pretty much cancelled. Oh, Jess says, sure, I'll be happy to help him. That's great. Thank you very much for assisting him on that. Big Bass says, what video do you think has aged poorly in your opinion? Well, my Justice League versus Avengers video, I don't think that's aged as well. It's funny because a lot of people were trying to say of the Justice League, we all had this weird thing where we were all saying it was a good movie or it wasn't as bad as we thought. And if you look at a lot of the reviewers, a lot of us said that. But then if you look at when Zack Snyder's Justice League released and then you go back to our videos, a lot of us have changed our thoughts so much. I can't even watch that video anymore because I feel like I've got it very wrong. It's a weird thing. It's kind of like something we were going through at the time as DC fans or just as fans of movies. It's like if you look at a lot of YouTubers, their thoughts on the Joss Whedon Justice League was so much more kinder than what it ended up being at the end. Later on we changed it aggressively, but yeah. Kinda not Josh. It says, is membership free? No, membership costs on YouTube. It all goes to supporting the channel, and it gives you extra content as a result, and you get a lot of content for joining on YouTube memberships. Gregory, you are right. The first Captain America does get really good after you revisit after Endgame. I did that when I did my Avengers Endgame versus video, and when I was reviewing all those first MCU movies, and I was reviewing Captain America. I even said that the movie got better when you watch all these films and then you go back to it, because on its own it wasn't really that good, but after watching all those it retroactively got so much better. Marty, are you still on the live stream? Hi, Brandon. Eric, I think you're going to roast Loki Season 1, but prove me wrong otherwise. Well, join us on the YouTube memberships to know exactly what I'm going to do. Elite said, the Winter Soldier made me learn about the world we live in. Okay, cool. Marty, you're still here. Let me see. Let's see here. Just give Marty a hand and let's see if you can help him contact me on Patreon like how you do, because he seems to be having trouble. And in the end, you guys could potentially get a Stranger Things Season 4 video out of it where I talk about why I wasn't a fan. Jess says, what do you think of Pacific Rim, and tell me your thoughts on it. I liked the first Pacific Rim. It didn't have a great story or anything, but the action was really cool. I loved the visuals. I really enjoyed it. I was going to do a versus video between that and the second movie, but then I never got around to it. But the second movie I heard was really bad. Yes, Shark Lord, I have seen Jaws. We've got another Streamlabs chat. Let's see who's done it. If it's King of the Monsters again, send me another image. I wonder. Let me guess. Is it? Huh, that's bizarre. It says I received, oh, Ian Choi. It's not come through. Okay, let me see here. Where have you gone, Marty? Let's see. Okay, Marty, I'm gonna tell you how you can contact me, and this is only for, like I said, for business stuff. So if anyone else wants to talk to me about stuff regarding, like I said, videos or commission videos or stuff, this is how you get in contact. Go to my YouTube channel. You'll see my profile. Click on more, and then click on view email address, and that's where you get to contact me for business reasons only. That's only a business email address. So if you do that, Marty, that way we'll both be able to talk. And we can talk about that. Yes, Charleston, there is a perk on Patreon to request movie reviews. It's a commission-based perk. So if you do that, you tell me what movie you want me to review, and I'll review it for you. I really like, is it Jedge MSMDM? I really like Legend of Korra. It was always sad watching it. You just felt really sad because, you know, they say the other characters are all dead or old. So that really does put a downer on it. But you still have a lot of fun with it. It's very watchable show, and it's very enjoyable. But you just don't like the characters as much. Like Bolin, who is good and funny, he just seems like a soccer light kind of character. And stuff like that. And I wish they could do better in that regard, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Okay, that's great, Marty. So if you want to talk to me through that, we can talk about it. I don't know where it's going to go, because that's going to be a big undertaking, making that Stranger Things versus video and swifting through all that footage and having to watch that season again. Ugh. It would make for a very good video in the end, but boy, will it be tiring. Eric II says, Captain Eric, can you order pizza in this live stream? What, you mean order pizza and eat a pizza while I'm chatting with you guys? I see no reason why not. But I'm not doing it right now. For Big Bash, it's 6:31 p.m. For me, it's 11:32 p.m. So a lot of places would be closed. Rohan, I have seen X-Men Evolution. I've been trying to watch more of it. I'm on near the end of season 2. Let's see if that from Ian Choi, if that came through. Said that he sent me something. Ian Choi, if you're on this live stream and I've not received one of your questions, post it here. I'll answer it, because it does seem to say that you sent me $1.50. Yeah, Big Bash, 2000s cartoons do hit different. That's why I was sad there's quite a few that I missed out on because I didn't have the channels when I was a kid. Rohan's currently on season 4. That's the last season, so cool. Yeah, Parker, Pixar rebooting, but that was the first story I talked about, and we've gotten past that now. Yeah, they did remove the Barto episode. But it's like, couldn't they have changed something there, made that one better? Is there an Underworld reboot in the works? Boy, that doesn't surprise me in many ways. Oh boy. Brandon says, do you think Deadpool and Wolverine will be good? Yes, I do think it will be good. My concerns are any MCU connections, because the MCU is not good right now, so you connect any MCU-isms to Deadpool and Wolverine, I think it can only spell bad things for it. So I hope they try to keep it separate. But apparently it's meant to change the MCU going forward, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. Rowan says, what is your think of Kenny's character in the Walking Dead game? I can't remember. I haven't played Season 1 in years. I played it on my PS Vita when I was younger. Big Bash says, how many years is Korra set after the original? I think it's like 70 years or something, so all the characters are older. Aang is dead, supposed to be. That's why there's Korra, a new avatar now. It was an overreaction, Matthew. It was something which I said in the heat of the moment. But, yeah, there was no need for that. I've seen that studios now have to do far worse things for me to boycott them. Bad movies, bad decisions, that's something that they just kind of do. At the time, I wasn't privy to it, but now I am, so I had a bigger reaction to it. Sharklord says, hey, have you seen Jurassic World Chaos Theory? No, because I still need to see the final season of Camp Cretaceous. Then I'll watch that. But I know my dad has seen it. MoveFan 2002 says, Eric, what were your thoughts on Katara telling Sokka that he didn't love their mother as much as she did? It was a cruel thing to say, but she was very emotional in that moment, so I think that's why she said it. If she was more straight in the head, like she wasn't as emotional, and she had it together more, I think she would not have said that, or she would have been more careful. Kinda not. Josh says, if Marvel keeps flopping, I might not have any comic book films to watch. Eric, are you into music? Am I into music? I love music. I'm not really much into songs, but I love music. Why do you think in my Versus videos and my videos in general, I'm usually very good at like picking what music to put into my videos? It's like, I love music so much. I use it all the time. Marty, I received your email and I read it, and I've moved it over, so I'll read it later. We can discuss. But yeah, one thing I'll recommend, Marty, is look at my Patreon commission prices and, you know, the perks that I've got for commission and the rules I've got, and then send me an email as to what you think. Based on those, like if that is too high for you, or if you think, no, we can work with this, there's a conversation to be had here, that's what I'd recommend the first thing you do first, because the Stranger Things video will probably be higher if I commission it, but we'll talk about it. Sweet Dream sounds familiar, Matthew, but I don't think I can't remember it off the top of my head. Movie fan says, same here. In fact, every day I always hum the Shire theme from The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that is a great theme. So calm, so tranquil. You just think of like a field and a bunch of green grass and everything. It's really beautiful. Parker says, I'm tired of everything connecting. Yeah, it's because they've not done a very good job of it. Maybe if they find a good story to tell to connect to, then we'll be more interested. But as of right now, not really interested. Just started on Modern Family. The Dark Lord says, yeah, I can remember many music themes for many characters and projects. Yeah, those are the things that I have stored in my iPod and my, you know, devices that I listen to music on. That's what, you know, music like that is what I've usually got on there. Matthew says, have you seen any Insidious movies? Yes, I have. That first one scared me. I remember I just turned 15 when I saw it, and that old woman that was really an old man in the costume just looked so grotesque and was an image that I couldn't get out of my mind for like 2 weeks when I was, you know, sleeping in bed at night. Just imagined it was just standing there at the end of my bed staring at me. It was such a freaky thing, that was. I'm glad you're a big fan, Matthew. Movie Fan says, Eric, what do you think of the trials of Donald Trump? I've not been paying attention to it. Quite frankly, I think there's bigger fish to fry. Like, I look at Biden and I'm like, alright, you know, he should be charged for what he's doing. Trump should also be charged, yeah, but there's other stuff, obvious stuff. He's providing arms to the bloodbath that's going on, you know, in Gaza and everything. So I'm like, okay, you should also be on trial. Or in, you know, but he's not. Elite, that is the one. He says, are you going to react to Alien Romulus trailer? I said there's another trailer coming out after the Venom trailer, and it's the Alien Romulus trailer. That was it. I completely forgot. Yes, I will be reacting to that, and it will be on Patreon and on YouTube for YouTube memberships for you guys to see my reactions to. Alien Romulus is a trailer, a movie I'm increasingly looking more and more forward to. I don't like the main character as another female character, quite frankly. I think the reason I say that is because I feel like the Alien movies have always tried, after Ripley, they've always tried to recapture that image, which is the Ripley pose, the iconic Ripley pose where she's holding a gun in like a dark corridor. She did that in the first two Alien movies, especially the second one, and it became an iconic image. But then when we got, you know, Prometheus, it felt like they were trying to do that. When we got Alien Covenant, the woman was like, it looked like they just gave her like, you know, the full-on Ripley pose. She tried to do it again. And now it looks like they're trying to do the same thing with this new Alien movie. You know, that Ripley pose. And I'm like, I'm tired of seeing that. I always noticed that the Predator movies always had a male character in the lead facing the Predator. And the Alien movies always had a female character. Even in Alien vs. Predator was a female character. Prometheus, Alien Covenant, you know, Aliens 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even this one coming up is always a female character. But then Predator, they switched it up. With Prey, they put a female character in the lead instead of a male character. So I thought it would have been made sense now for the Alien franchise, which was always a female character in the lead, and the Predator, which is always a male character in the lead. If Predator is switching the male character for a female character in the lead, in Alien Romulus, I thought it would make sense if they said, alright, we'll switch a female in the lead with a male character in the lead. But they haven't done that. They put another female in there that's meant to give off the Ripley vibes. And I'm just tired of seeing that in these Alien movies. I want another character in there. Parker says, Alien vs. Predator 1 was good, Requiem was terrible. Yep, it was. I did enjoy the first one. I saw it in the cinema when I was a kid. I was surprised it wasn't as violent as the other movies, though. I didn't know they were trying to go for a PG-13. Because in the UK here, it was still a 15. It was still given a high rating. Parker CS says, Venom 3 rumored plot leak. I hope I hope isn't true. Yeah, something to do with Peter Parker, wasn't it? Which sounded a bit weird the way they, you know, went about it. Opinion on Batman Forever? I liked it. It's a good but not great movie. There's a lot of fun to be had. Definitely more child friendly, but it picked more of a medium, I would say. Yes, Elite, that was the trailer that was supposed to come out around the same time as Venom 3. So we should be getting both of those trailers very soon. Movie fan says, well, apparently it's sort of a way for the supporters to vote for him as president again. This better fail or I'm going to go on a rampage. Thing is, it doesn't matter. These politicians, they've all showed their hand. They're all evil. They're all corrupt. We know this. They've all got their own interests in mind and none of ours. So it doesn't matter who they put up there. Donald Trump has got these skeletons in his closet that are more out there for people to see, but that doesn't mean these other politicians haven't done similar things, if not the same things, or worse things either. They're all rich snobs who just don't care, so don't fall for the fact that, oh, because Trump has got all the hate on him, that the others are squeaky clean. They're not. They've all done their own things, which are probably even worse. Rohan says, okay, let's hear that one. I'm curious about this. Rohan says, the decision to cancel Teen Titans Season 6 was made by Cartoon Network. It's because they were not making enough money, so they got Titans Go, and that is making more money. I heard it's something to do with merchandising. The toys weren't selling as well as they were supposed to. That's what I heard, and that's why they just cancelled the show out of nowhere. Matthew says, would you rather have the Batman Part 2 or Spider-Verse 3? The Batman Part 2. I was asked this question before. Instantly, I would say the Batman Part 2. Okay, guys, in 5 minutes I'm going to leave, so if you've got any questions you want to ask, any super chats or Streamlabs chats, do them right now, and I'll see all your questions, and, you know, I'll answer them before leaving. Sharklord says, what Planet of the Apes movie is the best movie? For me, it's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's my second favorite movie of all time. I love that film, even if the humans were kind of nothing special. Especially the main guy who was the human. Jess says, Eric, I saw your TMNT 2014 review, and you added Michael Bay explosions. That review was a masterpiece. Oh, thanks. I look back and think I could do those jokes better is what I usually see, but I remember having fun doing that. MovieFan 2002 says, who do you think is going to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse? I think Andrew Garfield and Tobey might be in it because they wanted to put them in, I think, in the first movie, but Sony didn't allow them to. And the rumor is that they're going to be combining more live-action elements in Beyond the Spider-Verse, so that makes sense if they do that. I also want to see more Spider-Man Noir. You know, Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man. I want to see more of that. So yeah, that's what I would hope. And I'm starting to feel hungry now too, because I've not had my evening meal before this stream. So yeah. I don't know why the thought in my head just popped in my head. Do you know when people always say, buy me a coffee? I was thinking, what was it? Buy me a takeaway. But I was thinking, I'm not going to do that this late. I keep forgetting. Look at the time. It's near 12 o'clock. Big Bass says, do you eat at night? No, not typically. No, I normally don't. But live streams take a long time to prepare. I've got to prepare my notes. I've got to prepare the stories. I've got to set, you know, each screen that you see in a live stream, when I do a screen like this, and a screen like this, and this, and this. Usually I have to prep these. I have to get the images, I have to get the assets, and I've got to prep them, position them, organize them, and put them in an order. So when I'm talking about it, I get to say, okay, so this is what's happening, then I show another image, then I say this is happening, and then I put the other image. So you got to organize your images and the way you're going to tell these stories, and it takes a long time. So yeah, sometimes it cuts into my food time. So I'll have something before I go to sleep, but I never sleep straight away as well. Sometimes that's a problem. I tend to stay up script writing because I've got a lot of those to write. Movie fan says, Eric, I mean, who do you think will die in Beyond the Spider-Verse? Who will die? It'd be interesting if Gwen did. Like, I think there could be an emotional reaction there if she did. Or maybe if Peter did. You know, the one who has a daughter. Matthew, I drive a Citroen. It's a first car of mine, and it drives me from where I need to go from point A to point B, and doesn't break the bank either. Batman's Gamer says, I just got here. I oven baked a pizza. You know, throughout the stream, I was thinking when I finish, I'll probably order a pizza or something. And I was like, no, probably I shouldn't. And now you're saying, talk about pizza, and now I'm feeling like doing it again. Zelda fan says, Eric, do you like the film Children of Men? I've never seen it, I'm sad to say. We had it for rental years ago, and yeah, I've never seen it. Have you seen all 5 Evil Dead films, says Parker? Yes, I have. Have you watched The Spider Within short, says Charleston? I don't think I have yet. I still have to. Damn. I think I had it loaded up. I don't remember if I watched it or not. Big Bash says, I wish more Spider-Man media had Peter being married with kids. Yeah, that would be, you know, different, because we've not really seen that. Jess says, Eric, the MCU announced that the MCU Blade would get an R rating. What are your thoughts? Well, they did that when the Marvels was on its way, and they knew it was going to flop. Because apparently the pre-order pre-sales were so bad, apparently, that it got them scared and really shook up. But no, that Blade, I don't think it has any... I think that Blade movie is going to be cancelled, you know. I think they've not said it, but did you hear that Mahershala Ali, was it David Green, who was co-writer of Logan? Apparently he left the project, and that's the 9th writer to leave the project. So, apparently when that happened... Mahershala Ali was like, that's it, I'm sick of waiting. It's been 5 years, I think, since he said that he wanted to be in a Blade movie. It's still not found a good script, and they've lost another writer. And I think he's basically said that he's done waiting and done clearing his schedule for them constantly for Marvel. So that's why we've heard now he's going to be cast, apparently, in the new Jurassic Park movie. Scarlett Johansson's going to be in it, and so is he. So that basically says that, yeah, he's not waiting for them anymore, and at that point... I think it's not going to be... I don't know if it's fully cancelled yet, because if they came up with a script, I'm sure he could free up some time, but I think it shows that he's just not... He's not waiting for them anymore, which normally they would do when they want to get something off the ground. So, yeah, that's the last thing they need right now as far as marketing goes, that Blade movie is not happening. So I'm sure they're going to keep trying, but I think it's in development hell, basically, where a lot of these movies go, where they just can't seem to get, you know, started on production. So... yeah, I think Blade, Elite says Blade is going to be cancelled. I think that is ultimately going to be what happens. Unless they hire someone else. But Mahershala Ali was a 2-time Oscar winner that they had on them there. He wanted to sell his, you know, trade in his Oscar capital for making a Blade movie. It turns out it's not happening. And, yeah, so that's a bad thing for Marvel to lose him. But they have. Batman's Gamer said they should cancel Blade at this point. I think they pretty much should, because, quite frankly, they're just embarrassing themselves. They're just letting us think that they're going to keep making more, and they keep releasing new script revisions, and the scripts are getting cancelled, the writers are leaving, the directors are also leaving. It's not looking good on them. It just shows them looking incompetent, and says, oh, right, you want to make an R-rated movie? This is where Ryan Reynolds is not behind it, Hugh Jackman's not behind it, and all of a sudden you're trying to... So this is basically all on Kevin Feige and the MCU, and you're going through all these cancellations of writers and directors. It just goes to show you can't make a good movie. You can't make a good R-rated movie. You can't even get the script off the ground. And they tried to do... Remember that article that came out where they were going to make the movie where it was all about these 3 women who were the leads, and Blade was relegated to 4th lead, and they would constantly give him life lessons and stuff. Yeah, that was... you know, it really is embarrassing what they've done to Blade. They've really done him dirty. And they've done Mahershala Ali dirty. The Time Shadow says, what's your favourite part of making videos, Eric? I love the whole part of making videos. Equally, you eventually, by the time you get towards the end of doing a part of the video, you get tired of doing it. But probably my favourite part... Probably my favourite part is adding the music in. That's where your video really comes together, because before that it's all quiet, it's a lot of talking and visuals and all that, but once you put the music in, it transforms it. I always sync the music with what you see on screen, and I pick a tone and a mood. Really transforms the video. Oh, excuse me. Ali voiced Uncle Aaron. Yeah, Ali voiced Uncle Aaron. He did, yeah. I always knew he voiced Uncle Aaron, so I found it funny. I was like, oh, he's working at Sony Marvel, and then he wants to go to MCU Marvel. Movie fan, it looked good. It was a good redesign. They all looked good in their Fire Nation attire. Okay, guys, I think that's basically going to be about it for the stream. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Yeah, Elite's Blade as the fourth lead did make no sense, as the movie title is Blade, yeah. But it was absolute pleasure talking to all of you. Thank you, Elite, for becoming a YouTube member. I hope you enjoy the content I have coming up. I also hope that all of you guys, if you choose to go on YouTube memberships or Patreon, I hope you enjoy all the extra content I have coming up for you guys. And for YouTube memberships, I have tons of content coming up. We're very excited to actually do. I'm finally going to be watching Loki Season 1 for the first time, and all of you who want to see my reactions, you just sign in to join YouTube memberships at any time. But I'm going to get that started soon. I'm going to try to get that off the ground. If I get this other work done first, hopefully I will. We'll also have Inside Out 1 versus Inside Out 2, which is an idea I'm hoping to do as well. And yeah, thank you very much all for watching, everyone, and I'll catch all of you in the next live stream. And as always, take care. Before I do, Batman's Gamer has given a $2 super chat. You got me right at the end. I was literally just about to sign off. Literally just about. How many did you guys? Quite a few of the guys left as well on the stream. Batman's Gamer says Blade is getting a game too. I heard that. Yeah, I don't know much about it though, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope they make it good. Could you imagine if it comes out with a better story? And people will look at that and say, how did the game get a story but the movie didn't? And it went through so many writers and directors. That would be embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, thanks very much, everyone. It was an absolute pleasure, as always. And yeah, I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.